not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian.
Good evening, fans of fantastic films, and welcome once again to the Drive-In Asylum double feature. I'm Bill Van Ryn from Fanzine Drive-In Asylum, and joining Sam Panico from BNS About Movies and myself on tonight's program is author Jennifer Upton. So
Hello.
Welcome back to the show, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thank you again for having me. How you guys doing? Cool.
Becca asked, what time is it right now for you?
It's 1:13 a.m.
Party time.
Yes, indeed.
You are so good to us for doing this.
Oh, no, I love doing this. It's great.
Welcome back to the show and Shakma.
I love Shakma. Thank you for letting me pick this movie because you guys last week were talking about killer cats in movies. And then I started thinking about other animals, and I spun off into this, like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to, and I remembered, like, all the great movies that have killer monkeys and apes. And then Shakma popped into my head, and I'd forgotten. I hadn't watched it in years, but it's such a fantastic film. It's so much fun.
It's like in the shadow of Kilimanjaro, except with Jason Baboon instead of an army of baboons. There's just one.
Yeah. And a friend of mine in LA was like, is that the same baboon that was in The Fly? And I said, yes, it is. It is the same baboon. He had a prolific career in the 80s. So we'll talk about that whenever you guys are ready. But he's awesome. I found a whole treasure of stuff about this baboon. It's just amazing. And it made me simultaneously desire having a baboon and also terrified of baboons. Because there's no such thing as a tame baboon. It's just, the more I learned, I thought, yeah, no, the odds of getting your face ripped off are pretty high. It's
Yeah, it's no joke. Remember when it was all in the news when there was a woman that was attacked by a baboon?
It was a
or
chimp.
Was it a gorilla?
It was a chimp. Yeah, it was a chimp. Yeah, I think it was Travis the chimp. Yeah. There's been a couple different. Jordan Peele had that in the film Nope. I don't know if you saw
I was just gonna say.
Yeah,
that's the thing my mind went to instead of that real case that I wanted to talk about. It went to
Nope. There was Travis and there was a couple of other ones, but it's never good. It never ends well. But this particular baboon was apparently a sweetheart most of the time. The guy who owned him was a guy named Monty Cox, and he did the bear training for Gentle Ben, and he worked for Siegfried and Roy. They got the baboon when he was 4 months old, little guy, and they named him Typhoon because when he wasn't sweet, he really wasn't sweet. So that's how he got his name, Typhoon. But they just called him Boone as a nickname. And that stuck, and there was briefly on YouTube a bootleg commentary for Shakma with Monty Cox and another just film fan. and it disappeared the day after I watched it.
Oh man.
And it was great because Monty Cox was talking about training baboons and working with movie animals and this particular baboon's owner and trainer were two different people. The trainer was a guy named, and I'm going to butcher his name, it's Jerry Therian. And if you want, we can talk about, if you want to fire up the images. There you go.
There's got it going.
AKA Boone the baboon. Just, and his haircut is incredible.
Yeah, he's styling.
He's very styling. Very, very punk.
Should I go to the next one now?
He was also in Bird on a Wire, The Fly, Unmasking the Idol, The Order of the Black Eagle, and in Order of the Black Eagle, he drives a baboon-sized custom tank and blows away Nazis.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there he is in his ninja outfit. I think that's from Unmasking the Idol. Which is, if you haven't seen it, you guys need to see it. There he is in his full camo. And then he has a full tuxedo in another shot. There,
Oh man.
yeah.
First, we had this one.
That was his trademark thing that Monty said that the first thing they trained him how to do was that. So you see him do it a lot in Unmasking the Idol.
Wow.
So, yeah.
He never forgot it. Okay, here's his tux.
Yeah, here's his
man.
tux. Yep. And he's like the sidekick. I don't know if you've seen those films, but they're like low budget James Bond / Indiana Jones films with a sidekick baboon.
Oh.
And they're incredible, these films. They're so just sugary, bad, good combo junk food. They're so amazing, these two films.
Oh my God. I'm hunting them down now.
You've got to watch them. They're hilarious. And the baboon has a major role in the first one, and in the second one, he does the whole. They literally have him in a miniature tank. And he's driving.
Well, he's even armed in this one.
He's fully armed. He kicks the bad guys with kung fu moves. He bounces off the walls. It's full on baboon. It's like it blows every which way but loose away. It's just the things that they make him do. Yeah, there's the VHS cover for Shakma. I think I first saw this. I know it went straight to video, but I did not see this on video. I saw this years later on. There might have been a midnight screening somewhere in LA.
Well, it did theatrically.
Did it play theatrically?
Yeah, it played from September 1990 for a couple of months in various theaters. But in the UK, it went direct to video.
I was living in Syracuse at that time, and I don't remember it playing, but I definitely would have been there. What else can I say about Boone? He was in The Fly, and Jeff Goldblum holds him. I don't know if I sent you the image for that. I think I did.
You did. I don't know why it didn't come up.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm cycling through all of them now.
Yeah.
That's really weird. I know I clicked on it. Well, I'll get it.
Oh, that's okay. Apparently, David Cronenberg said when the baboon came to the set, everybody knew this is a very special actor. The baboon fell in love with a female PA who was similar in size. She's a very petite woman. And he treated Jeff Goldblum as an alpha male, which is why they got on. And apparently Jerry, the trainer, said if he hadn't respected Goldblum in that way, it wouldn't have gone well. But he literally hugs him and holds him and does all these things. And it's the same with Ian Hunter in the Duncan Jacks films. He's cuddling him, and apparently whoever he likes there has to be like this relationship where it's either dominant or submissive. And that's how they get the performances out of the baboon. Is if you change your posture just one little bit, they lose their minds. And that's what you'll see in Shakma, is the trainer just doing one little movement with his eyes or showing his, smiling even can set them off. And then if you just calm right down and kind of go into a lull, they calm right down. So that's what you're seeing in Shakma. The owner said when the producers came to him and said, we've got a part for Boone. And he said, as long as there's no aggression, we'll sign the contract. And the whole film is about baboon aggression.
Yeah.
And he said he didn't bother to read the script, but he let the trainer take Boone to the set and they did it. And when Boone came home, he was a little bit grumpy. Like he had been put through things that they said he was a little bit aggressive when he came home because they had him do all these things. But they said still, he was like their family member. He would follow them around like a dog. And when he passed away, he was in his 20s. And the owner, Monty, said he got an email from the trainer and it just said lost, one word.
No.
And he quickly called the guy's wife and he said, what happened? And he said, we lost Boone. He passed away. He got ill. And the guy had locked himself in the barn with the big cats that they were training, I guess. And Monty had to go over there and stay with him for 2 weeks so they could grieve together. It was the saddest story. I thought, oh my God, like they were just bereft when Boone died. I said it was like their brother.
It's kind of like having a kid, kind of too, because they're very neat. Do you know what I mean? Like it's even more than a pet, maybe, because it has so many human characteristics.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm trying to think what else I've got here is you need to see the Duncan Jacks films. Have either of you seen any of those?
No.
There's 2 of them. And there's even a theme song with like, the dramatic Shirley Bassey type singing in the beginning. And he takes off on a hot air balloon at one point. There's all the gadgets. And then there's this idol and it turns into an Indiana Jones movie with a baboon.
I'm 100% into this. This is fake Euro Spy and Indiana Jones ripoffs. These are
it's amazing.
I mean, if there was an AI program that could write the perfect movie for Sam, that would be very close to it.
Did Jess Franco direct these? It's about the only thing it's missing.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the deal with those movies were. Like, I caught one of them like late night on cable back in the 2000s and just was like, I'm never going to sleep. I'm going to watch this whole movie.
Oh. This is how I found Biggles Adventures in Time, and this sounds much bigger than Biggles Adventures.
Oh no, they put some serious, like the set design, the vehicles. They're fighting Nazis. It's a huge. I don't know how much it costs to make the 2 films, but they put it all on screen for sure.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's just. They're just incredible. And I had a list here and I wanted you guys to add to it because you guys have way more encyclopedic knowledge than I do. A list of other great monkeys in horror films.
Oh man.
I've got Outbreak, which isn't really a horror film. Monkey Shines. Mother of Tears.
Yeah.
Had an awesome monkey.
An evil monkey.
Yeah, Primal Rage, 1988. The Omen had a troop of baboons. Dead Alive, of course. Phenomena had the chimp, which isn't really a monkey, it's a great ape, but I put it on there anyway. And Zombies on Broadway from 1945.
Oh wow.
Have you seen that one?
No, I would like to. Just the title is exciting.
It's these 2 guys that are like a low rent Abbott and Costello.
Oh, is it the same? Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of a different one. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you can count Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla, which is another movie kind of like that has a fake suit, though, and a fake Martin and Lewis team, which is amazing.
Lugosi is also in Zombies on Broadway.
Yeah, that seems to make sense. It's like not a monogram, but sub-monogram pictures. level movie.
Yeah, yeah. And the monkey does a lot. Like he pretends to be a zombie at one point so that he can get through the zombies. And the monkey has like his arms out. Like it's just the cutest damn thing. You guys probably have other movies that I've never, or just forgotten with killer monkeys or with really just cool monkeys.
Did you say Link? Link's a good one.
I forgot about Link. That was good.
Late canon movie.
Yep.
There's well, we're not going to count Planet of the Apes and all those. Congo.
No, I didn't.
They're fake monkeys in Congo, so there's that.
Yeah.
Night of the Bloody Apes, which we've shown.
Yeah.
And Phantom of the Rue Morgue is another one I was thinking of from 1954.
Oh yeah.
Usually that's the old trick of those movies where the mad scientist has an ape that does his bidding for him.
Right.
Is Night of the Bloody Apes? I mean, is that really an ape film? Because it's not really an ape in it. It's sort of.
Yeah. It's something. I'm not counting Planet of the Apes or Time of the Apes or any movies with human ape hybrids.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the one I was going to bring up was Son of Ngagi.
Oh, yeah.
If you've ever seen that one,
No.
It's an old dark house film from 1940 with an all-black cast.
Oh, wow.
And it's about a doctor, and she has this, she brings this like ape man back with her from a trip to Africa. She's a doctor, and she has this basement laboratory where she keeps it, and she's doing these experiments on it. I think the implication is that she has somehow increased this creature's evolution, and she's like, it's somewhere between an ape and a person, and a primate and a person, I should say, because as John Ortiz pointed out, apes aren't monkeys or gorillas. Or,
He's right. He's right. Yeah,
he is right. But anyway, like she dies, and her laboratory is secret. It's like it's got this secret panel in it because it's an old dark house movie, really. And she dies, and she wills the house to somebody else, and they move in, and they don't know that this ape man is in the basement. They don't even know there is a basement. So it's kind of cool. Like it comes out, of course it gets out.
Oh, it just 7 Deaths in the Cat's Eye. The guy named James has a gorilla named James in his bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
Which was a guy in a suit. But again, gorillas are apes and not monkeys, but
Project X is not a horror movie, but it's similar where they're operating on a monkey to fly a fighter jet. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then Wizard of Oz has flying monkeys.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right.
Those are when you're a little kid, those are horrifying.
They were. Yeah, that's true.
That was like the gargoyles.
Yeah.
Because they flew too. That was my first connection when I saw gargoyles. Oh my God.
And then also monkey. And not someone in a suit, yes, but Robot Monster is an ape with a television for a head. So there's that.
Is it a television or a diving? It's a diving helmet, isn't it?
It looks like, I always think of it as like one of those funky 70s TVs that doesn't look like a TV. You know what I mean?
It's a diving helmet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Mike Justin was right. The monkey werewolves in Howling 2 because they sent the wrong suits to.
Oh yeah, Howling 2. Right, you're right.
Yeah. Does
Trading Places count? Eldon Glenn. Yeah, why not? I mean.
Well, we said horror movies, but
it's not. Yeah, but it's Rick Baker. We love him.
Well, then we'd have to include The Incredible Shrinking Woman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a good call. I have a list of the 11 most evil monkeys in movies.
What's that? Did they cross over with the list that Jen read?
Let me see here. I haven't heard. No, this one has horrible ones. This is bad. Like Mojo Jojo from Powder Puff Girls is in it. We don't need this list. Congo gets mentioned though, so I guess that's good.
Well, it had the gray gorillas in it. Yeah, the evil gray gorillas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone seems to be having connection issues tonight. On my end, I mean, I have a strong signal in the app here, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it, so I apologize. I don't know if YouTube's doing any better, but if you're having trouble in the face, if you're having trouble, go to the YouTube channel.
This
pick
one,
it up.
this one list I just looked at had mentioned Fluffy from Creepshow is an ape, and I don't think of Fluffy as an ape. I think of it as like more wolf-like creature.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Just don't really think of him as being a monkey or a chimp or any character.
Yeah, it's more like a Yeti.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, these are scientific things that we have to break down what these creatures are. What is the? I didn't go to school for this, so I don't know what that science is called. I'm a writer. I don't.
Primatology.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. There's some good recommendations for. I'm gonna have to make a list. I also, if you like my stupid letterbox list, I do have a letterbox list of poison milk movies. Finally, of movies that feature poison milk. There's way more than I thought there were. So, go figure.
Poison milk.
Well, yeah, movies that have poison milk in them. Would you like me to load it up and tell you what they are?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Let me load it up. Hold on 1 second. I'm doing another list of movies where something gets thrown in a bathtub while someone's sitting in there. I think this is a list that needs to be made. You know? Here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
movies.
definitely.
I have. Let me see how many on this. The Cat of Nine Tails is the ultimate poison milk movie. All other poison milk movies come from Cat of Nine Tails. Not really. There's ones before that. Scanners 2: The New Order has poison milk. The Two Mrs. Carols from 1947. Impulse from 1984. The Woods from 2006. Confessions from 2010. Yeah, not a lot of postcoital milk. Or milk in bags, which is I think it's an Argento idea. Edge of Darkness from 2010. Revenge of the Living Dead Girls, which is about girls in France drinking poison milk and becoming zombies.
You wrote about that in the magazine once.
Yeah, I sure did. Shatter Dead, which is a shot on video movie, which is awesome. Perverse Doll from 1969. Night of the Scorpion, Rest in Pieces, The Killing Kind. Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker has a poison milk sequence. Greta from 2018, Shadow on the Wall from 1950, The Apostle from 2012, Jess Franco's Sinfonia Erotica, The Fish Child, The House in Marsh Road, Do You Know This Voice from 1964, No Harm Intended, The Public Pays, a movie I'm not going to be able to pronounce correctly, but it's called Horsey, Tig-a-dig-a-dig-a-dig is that movie. Bitter Harvest, and 1941 Suspicion, which I think 1941 Suspicion is where it all comes from. And I'm sure Argento saw it in the theater as a kid and said, in some movie someday, two people are going to have sex and then a bag full of milk is going to get injected with a syringe. And I'm going to have a really intense scene where, are they going to drink that milk? And that's
Dan Sitch says David Cronenberg invented bagged milk.
He invented Magnum, he said?
Bagged milk.
Bagged milk, yeah. I thought he invented Magnum, and I'd be totally, I don't know how I would deal with that. I'd probably have to leave the show for a little bit.
I saw bagged milk in a supermarket in Italy, and I was like, oh!
Yeah, don't get it. Don't leave it in the hallway.
Yeah. And I bought it. Took it to my Airbnb.
Yeah.
Anyway, were you done with your list?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
The poison milk list? Because we got to look at these ads for Shakma, because it's been sitting here for too long. See, Jen Upton, it did play theatrically. This is from September of 1990. And this was, this is the only ad design that we really got for Shakma. Obviously, it did not have a huge success in theaters. There's our star.
There he is.
Just got out of the Blue Lagoon. Now he's in the Shakma.
I'm not used to seeing him with so many clothes on.
Yeah. I'm used to not used to seeing him outside of Tiger Beat.
Here's some other contemporaries.
I can't believe this came out the same time as Darkman, and they seem like from years apart.
I also see Dick Tracy down there, the Warren Beatty Dick Tracy.
Oh my God,
Sam's
I have
obsessed.
So much to say about that later.
Sam is obsessed. Okay, so sorry, I was thinking drag on my stogie. I don't know. This ad campaign really would not have made me want to go see it because I don't know. There's something about monkeys that just rubs me the wrong way.
I love the
I don't
font.
like movies about.
Yeah, the
The
font
A,
is
yeah.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe Bob reviewed it. Here's what he said. So, spoiler alert: there are no boobs in Shakma.
No, but I read some articles that were written recently where people are freaked out by the fact that the girl from Kate and Alley, the young girl in this, that she's clearly underage, and you know, I'm like, we didn't think about those things in 1990.
Yeah, we didn't know what they were.
No, she's got like that little half top, and she's hitting on Christopher Atkins, and it's like, oh yeah, okay.
The girl from Kate and Alley, is that the one?
Yeah, I forget her real name, but she played the daughter on Kate and Alley.
She is.
I think Lee's onto something here.
Yeah, that probably is one. Ari Myers is her name. I had to think of it for a second. Yeah, and Amanda, is it Vice?
Yes.
Place. Yeah. She. Sorry, Rocky Horror pronunciation. She's obviously from Nightmare on Elm Street, and Chris Akins. Come on, Blue Lagoon. Blue Lagoon was the biggest deal. It was on. I did not read Tiger Beat. I saw someone say that. I know what Tiger Beat is. I'm more Dynamite Bananas. That's my magazines of the past.
I read Tiger Beat. I was a huge Sean Cassidy fan. And I would go. There was probably like for the better part of a year, I'd just go to the magazine section. Any magazine that had a pinup of Sean Cassidy, I was there. And they were really stupid.
By his picture in Rolling Stone.
That's David Cassidy.
His little trail.
That's David Cassidy you're thinking of.
I'm sorry. See, I don't notice these things.
Wrong Cassidy.
If you'd like me to break down the girls of like $20, I can do that, but I can't break down the Cassidys.
Sam, what about this? Go ahead.
The Partridge Family was David, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I was all about him when I was 9 years old. Yeah.
Well, he was out of sight, you know. It ran in the family. I was a little too young for David Cassidy, though, because I watched the Partridge Family, but I wasn't there, like, you know, when I Think I Love You was a big hit, and there were screaming girls everywhere. David Cassidy went. But Sean Cassidy was on the Hardy Boys' Nancy Drew Mysteries, which was my favorite
do remember him
TV
from
show.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the TV show first, and then when he debuted the Do Ron Ron on the Hardy Boys, it was an electric moment for me.
Yeah.
Sam, what about this boozy that you're promising us?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm taking a page out of the Beastie Boys tonight and making brass monkey, but it's called brass Shakma. Monkey, yeah. So this is the easiest drink we're ever going to make. Super simple. But let's do it together. Thank you for, I saw someone gave a nice comment. Becca bought me, this is one of my Christmas gifts, my Night of the Comic shirt.
Yes, great.
I'm cracking open a new Kraken.
An ounce and a half of Kraken. You got some Kraken.
A brand new bottle.
Guess what? I'm going to need one too. In a second when I level it out.
I have a rum cask stout with bananas, chocolate, and macadamia nuts because I thought, you know, we should do something with it. Yeah.
And we're going to go with an ounce and a half of that, and then we're going to do an ounce and a half of vodka.
Oh, I got the wrong booze out. I thought you were going to put Malibu in it.
Go with what you'd like. And then finally, 4 ounces of orange juice. So that's the healthy part. So you won't get scurvy on this voyage to Shakma.
It takes a long time to get there.
Yeah. It's like the voyage of Magellan. That's how long it is. All right. Then we give it a little stir.
Ooh, I like the color on that.
Yeah.
So you just stir it. I like this. There's no shaking involved.
Exactly. So, stir
Like
my shaken. Well,
my
Jen,
Bugos.
thank you for doing the show. And thanks
Thank
to everybody
you.
in chat. Hope everybody is now streaming better. And Pazuzu.
Pazuzu.
Pazuzu. Delicious.
Everywhere we go, we bring the monkey with us. That's as the Beastie Boys would say. That was one of the first hard alcohols I ever bought. Is they had pre-made Brass Monkey, and I was so excited because of the song. I got it, and I got really sick.
Oh,
Of course.
Drank a whole bottle, and I was like, "What am I doing?" So there you go. Yeah, Jen, super awesome facts on Boone. I'm really excited about this.
yeah.
All I have to add is that about this movie, more after the movie, but the thing I'm most amazed by this movie is after everything that goes wrong in the first quarter, Chris Atkins' character is like, you know what? Let's just go back to that lab and play D&D. Let's just learn. And like, there's a tragedy that happens in the beginning of this. Like, I would not want to go back. If a great tragedy happened, like, I love D&D. Don't get me wrong, especially when I was the age when this movie came out. I was prime set for it. Also, Amanda Weiss does not play D&D. There's no girls that look like the girls in this movie that play D&D.
I didn't know any girls that played D&D
No.
in the 80s. So
Did you?
no, never.
So you're not going to go to hell. You've saved
Well,
your
I
soul
played
and
it
saved.
once. I played it once
Well, that's all it takes.
with a guy that I dated. So
Every girl's played it once, and then they're like, "Why do I sleep with this guy?" I've tried. I've like said to my wife, like I started telling her, explaining to her some of the rules. She just looked at me and she's like, "Do you want to have sex again?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you want to play D&D?" And I was like,
I think Rebecca and
"Let
I
me tell you
kind of,
about Magic Missile."
it's the same conversation I had. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it's pretty much.
exactly. And then you know what?
I know
Like,
lots
like,
of-
how can we make D&D?
I know lots of female nerds now. Like, it's cool to be a nerd.
It's cool now.
Different
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Now they have Magic, which is even geekier than D&D. I wouldn't even touch that. I'm like, no, I can't do that.
Well,
I need a
Stranger
rule
Things
book.
has made it
I need-
really cool now. So it's, you know.
Yeah, and Vin Diesel's like, oh, I played it all the time when I was young. And like, no, you didn't. Don't lie to us, Vin.
Right.
We
Tell
had,
me what a horror is.
when I was in 8th grade, there was a D&D after school club, and these kids would stay after and wait for the late bus, and they would play. One of my best friends went in there, and he came out an hour later, and he looked at me and he said, "I have no idea what just happened. I just pretended I knew what was going on." I said,
The last group I played with was in my first marriage. My ex-wife knew all these doctors from the hospital she worked at, and all these PhDs and doctors had a group, and they let me join. It was the worst experience of my entire life because they all like were way too smart for me, and I just make fart jokes the whole time, and it was not a fun group to play D&D with. So it was not good. Yeah. But also I would get, it was like one of those things like where they would talk to you about it in church, you know, because I grew up during the Satanic Panic because I'm old. And it would
yeah,
just
me
be
too,
like, you
me
know,
too, me too.
Yeah.
It's back.
They
It's
would,
back and better than ever.
It's great because now it's like mixed with QAnon. So it's really great because it really hits a lot of different stuff.
All week, the Grammy Awards being satanic has been all up on my social media. And I'm like, what? Did we go back in a time machine? Like,
I like that the church is
Wow.
staying weighed in. They're like, that wasn't
You're gonna
really
keep
that upsetting. Like, it was pretty boring.
You're going to keep seeing more and more of that.
I thought we went through this and we got through it.
Well, now it's
It goes
also
away
like,
and it comes back.
it's a way to be homophobic without being homophobic because you can be like, oh, I
Yes.
don't like that Satanism. And you're like, okay, but why don't you really like it? You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know it's okay that I don't like it because it's in the Bible.
Yeah.
That's the defense.
Oh,
It's like, oh, okay. Whatever, dude.
oh.
Anyway, This is really a third segment kind of conversation.
It
we're
is.
having.
It is. Well, we're getting Jen in now before it's too late for her, because the third segment would start
This
like
is 15%, so I might hang out for the second segment just because I'm having so much fun.
Ooh. We know how late it is for you, so we love that you do this show with us.
You know what? It's all good.
Marilyn Manson said about Dungeons and Dragons, every time you play, it's another month till you lose your virginity. So I was 24, so I played a lot of D&D. So 100% right. Thanks, Brian Warner. Thanks for getting your ribs taken out. I love urban legends that came from like pre-internet. Like there was internet, but not really. And people are like, oh yeah, of course, he's Paul from the Wonder Years, and he got his ribs taken out so he can blow himself. Everybody like, yeah, I completely believe that. He was in the same hospital as Rod Stewart when they were pumping his stomach.
And Richard Gere getting the gerbil
Sylvester
removed.
Stallone started that one though.
Did he?
Yeah, because he's still
on purpose.
Because they were in what's in the words of Flatbush together. They were catering. He kept telling him not to get chicken grease on his suit, and Richard Gere was like, "I don't care." Got chicken, just poured it all over him. So Stallone's like, "You know what?"
Oh,
he put a gerbil up his ass.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
You know what's great about that rumor is that everyone knows somebody who worked in the hospital when Richard Gere was brought in.
Yeah,
of course.
Every hospital has a gerbil expert ready in case Richard Gere has. I also was told that he got duct tape and taped up its paws so that its paws wouldn't tear him up from the inside. Like, I don't think there's not that much. Like, it seems like a spur of the moment decision. To be fair, there's lots of websites that can show you what people put up into themselves. Becca shows me always when I'm eating lunch. She's like, look at this. There's a whole Instagram full of these things.
There are books. There are genuine medical books.
Putting stuff up their butt.
Yeah.
The stuff that you have.
I used to work for a publisher.
Lesson, she said, and she said it's important to know.
I think so.
I used to read manuscript submissions from a publisher, and I read one like that. It was pretty amazing. One of them was one situation was a guy who used to well, I don't know how I can even say this on the air. He worked in a machine shop, and he used to pleasure himself by aligning his member with one of the belts that moved. Like, I guess there was like a big belt, and he would like take it out and lay it on this belt. And one time it caught one of his testicles and like threw it up into the rafters of the factory.
Oh my God.
And he didn't want to tell anybody. It got worse after that. So his scrotum was ruptured, and he stapled it shut with metal staples from the machine shop. And then, of course, the whole damn apparatus down there got infected, and he had to go to the doctor and explain all of this.
Yeah.
He actually turned out okay, I guess.
I used to work with a guy who was training to be an EMT, and he had to learn this. And he brought this book in about stuff, how to get it out. And we were all just sitting there, and he brought it into work, which this was back in like 93 or 94. You couldn't get away with that now. But we're all leafing through the book going, light bulb, G.I. Joe, and I'm like, really? And he goes, I have to learn this stuff. It's on the test.
So a horrible story, and I won't say who. One of my friend's wives, who is a nurse, last week had a patient that had an SS tattoo on his penis. And she was like, I really don't want to take care of this guy because I just can't, morally, I can't help him.
It was a long time before that guy got laid.
Yeah. I was like, of course I get a text right away from him. He's like, hey, Sam, guess what? My wife just had a Nazi dude with a tattoo on his dick. And I was like, cool. It was like 8:30.
There's a band here called London SS, and they're so not Nazi. It's just a holdover from the punk era. They use the name, but the lead singer's bisexual, and the guitar player's like 85 years old, and he's sweet, and he has dementia. And it's like, they're not Nazis. They're just trying to be provocative.
Last thing I want to say before we start the movie, because you mentioned it, I'm obsessed with Dick Tracy right now, from Dick to Dick. But I don't know who else knows this in the chat, or last night. So Warren Beatty owns the rights to Dick Tracy, has owned them since the 90s. In 2008, he did a Dick Tracy movie for Turner Classic Movies. It was 35 minutes long. Just
Really?
Leonard Maltin interviewing him in character as Dick Tracy. Well, the rights went up this week. He made another movie that aired last night on Turner Classic Movies with that guy Ben Mankiewicz, I think is his name, the critic, and Leonard Maltin interviewing Dick Tracy in character. And then Warren Beatty came on, and Dick Tracy said, "You're a liberal, and I'm not happy that you made my movie." They argued about politics for about 5 minutes in split screen, and then went to lunch together, and they filmed a split screen of them eating lunch and agreeing to be friends. How and why this movie happened is mind-blowing. Even more mind-blowing is the fact that he's going to never give up the rights. He wants no one else to make. He even admits that he does not like the movie that he made, but he's gonna hold on to the rights. He said to Dick Tracy until he dies, and he never wants anyone else to make another one, which is hilarious. And that's the kind of insane movie making that I want more of in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. This just aired out of the blue because last night was a Dick Tracy marathon on TCM of all the 40s and 50s movies, and they just snuck it in for 35 minutes in the middle of it, which is insane.
Wow. Best thing about that movie was Madonna, which is an odd thing to say because she didn't make that many good films.
How often do you say that?
You know,
Becca's going to come in here and yell in a second. Also, it's Blood and Black Lace too, because Madonna looks exactly like the killer, and all the colors are Bava colors.
Yes,
it's like it's
correct.
Too much to be a coincidence. And Mary Warnoff's in it, so instantly 5 out of 5.
Yeah,
yeah,
totally. Yeah.
I like that they're like, who should play this lady that's in charge of wayward youth? Mary Warnoff.
Mary Warnoff.
And, Paul Sorvino's in it. It's got a lot of my favorite people in it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I saw it on opening night with a group of friends. Yeah.
I went to Disney that year, and let me tell you, all of Disney was Dick Tracy. All those silhouettes of him saying, "I'm on my way," and the wrist radios and stuff. Man, the funniest part of the special is that Dick Tracy says, "I don't understand these Zoom calls. I've had a 2-way wrist radio for years, but this is too much for me. You've won me over, Warren. I love you."
How old is Warren?
He's in his mid to late 80s. The next time he'll do one of these will be in his 90s, and I really hope he lives long enough to make another one because he still has the costume. It's great. Leonard Maltin didn't say anything during this entire show. It's like it's him just sitting there in like a box on a Zoom call. Like, you have a couple coworkers that never really say anything during their Zoom calls now. 100% he's in there. It's great. Love it.
Good call on the Bava colors because I never made that connection. Yeah. But you're right. It totally is, isn't it?
Speaking of Bava colors, look at Bill Van Ryn tonight. He's in the Bava room.
Yeah, I know. I got to get that going.
Yeah.
Sam got it going once, and he never got it going again.
I know. I'll get it going.
I have this thing. You can't really see it. Let me see if I can lift it up.
I have this thing
that changes color.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The artist formerly known as Prince.
That's the whole, It was the anniversary 2 days ago, the last time I saw him play live 9 years ago.
Oh,
which
wow.
was awesome. Yeah.
How many times did you see him? I mean, you say that like there have been many.
5 or 6, which is nothing compared to some people.
Yeah.
There are people that saw him 80, 90 times,
He played in Dallas when the Steelers were in the Super Bowl. My brother and I, we got to go. The seats were $3,000. We're like, we don't need to go. Yep. We'll go some other time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I only saw him once. It was in 1988 on the Love Sexy tour.
It was a good tour. I didn't see that tour. He didn't. Oh yeah.
It was fucking amazing. And I was a little disappointed because it was at post-revolution. Although like Eric Leeds was there with him on stage, and Dr. Fink also was still playing keyboards. But Sheila E. was on drums. She played a kit the whole time, which I never really thought of her as that kind of a drummer. But she was fucking John Bonham behind this giant kit. And she was amazing. Like, you could really tell how good she was, by the way. It was because a lot of his tracks have a drum machine on it, and you're used to hearing them that way. But she was amazing, and she did they did the Glamorous Life and a couple other Sheila E. moments, and one where she rapped and she drummed and accompanied herself while she was rapping, and I was like, God, I couldn't even do one of those things.
I know,
let alone two.
I read an interview with Dr. Fink, and he said that before Prince kind of crossed over, he's like, why does Steve Miller have all these hits? Why do people hate Steve Miller? And he's like, well, have you ever listened to him? And he's like, no, I never have. He goes, go listen to him. And he listened. He's like, oh, okay. And that's when he started doing those songs. That's what he claims. I don't know if it's a BS claim or not, but I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, by the way, Becca shared it with me, that Becca's dad did animal training for a while.
Did he? Did she?
Yeah, where
oh,
was
wow.
it? The Bwana Dons? Oh, it was a show. It was like a Jack Hanna show called Bwana Dawn that was on Detroit television. And he helped with the animals, a kid show. And he had a scar across his nose from a cheetah that he wasn't properly controlling, not paying attention for a second. And the cheetah sliced him across the nose. He also trained horses for a while too, didn't he? Yeah, he has had a lot of great stories. My other favorite was that he used to run a head shop called the Happy Apple. And Fleetwood Mac came in to buy clothes, and he took them to the zoo one day. And I'm sure some level of drugs were involved, but who knows?
Possibly. Allegedly.
Have any of you, including Becca, ever come face to face with a chimp or seen one really up close outside of a zoo?
I will not. Baby, have you ever been up close to a chimp? No, she wished. She said wistfully, no.
Yeah, I was lucky.
Cubby counts kind of. Cubby kind of acts
Cubby
like
counts.
Shakma.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
He reacts like Shakma.
When I worked in LA in this building, the bottom floor, they were shooting a sports show, and they had a chimp as a guest one week. And all my coworkers go downstairs, walk through the hallway. And you'll see him. And I walk through the makeup hallway, and I pass the open makeup door, and he's sitting in the makeup chair, getting his hair done. And he just turns and looks at me, like, what? It was so weird. It was like it was a human being looking you in the eye, getting his hair done. And then a few hours later, I saw trainer was walking him to the car, and he got in the car and he put his seatbelt on. And we were just in tears. We were like, this is awesome. This is showbiz.
The closest I've come to one, Bill, I don't know if you remember at the Attic, they used to have that spider monkey at that record store.
Yeah, I remember.
At the Attic, and he would live in a crib in the middle of the store, and they were trying to teach him how to file records. Yeah. Becca did say her dad told her one other thing, that when the monkeys they had a baby that died, and they'll hide the baby so that the humans don't get it.
Oh.
And they'll put it somewhere because they don't want anyone to take it from them.
That's
They'll
terrible.
protect the baby, yeah.
Oh,
but yeah, that little baby was just sitting in the crib bill in the attic, and I was always amazed at it would just sit there with a diaper or a sleeper on. And I'm
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
I guess no one ever was mind blown other than me. People are like, yeah, there's a monkey there. He's always been a monkey there. I'm like, okay.
It is kind of a weird like when the chimp looked me in the eye. There's this weird moment where you feel like you're looking into the past. Like you're looking like there's an awareness there.
Yeah,
they are looking into your soul. It's just incredible. Even though he was getting his hair done and he had his little outfit on, and
that scene you brought up, that scene in Nope still freaks me out, where just everybody's screaming and then it's so still and you can tell something. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't know. I really like that movie. I know not everybody does, but I kind of obsessed by it. So
I like it a lot too.
Yeah. I was talking to someone why is that scene even in the movie? And I'm like, because that's what happens later. He didn't learn it. Sorry, spoiler warning for a movie, but he didn't learn any lessons from it. That's the lesson he should have learned, and he didn't because of his hubris. It's crazy. Anyway, I love that part. I also love that they did an ad for the show in Fangoria for the sitcom that the monkey was on, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for Shakma.
Yeah.
Now that we know you're going to get to see Typhoon in action, now that we've talked about him, We're going to get to see Roddy McDowell for his contractually obligated 15 minutes. Or however long it took him to get on the posters for
however long they could afford him for.
Yeah. And, you know, oh, wait, here comes Shakma.
Hurricane.
There he is.
Hurricane, that's his name now.
Oh, no. It's the Cubby Monster.
The last thing I want to mention about Shakma, it's very pro wrestling, which I never understood this in wrestling because, you know, my name's Shirley Doe when I wrestle. And people yell Shirley at me and I'm supposed to get mad. Like, they yell Shakma at him and he's like, ah, and freaks out. It's like, that's my fucking name, dude. Don't wear it out. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why does your name make you mad? But
the trainer said it's because if you show your teeth or you make eye contact, that's rude in baboon language.
So they made a name for him that is inherently mean, Shakma. If his name was like,
yeah.
That doesn't work.
You're forced to show your teeth.
You show your teeth. Next time I go to the zoo, I'm just gonna I'm wearing like a bandana or something over my face.
Oh yeah, no, for real. Like, yeah, I was hiking in Japan and came across Japanese snow monkeys, real wild monkeys, and there's signs everywhere saying, "Please do not stare. Keep your hands out of your pockets and do not smile."
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't smile at Shakma.
We got a couple of first timers in the chat, so this is exciting. I have seen the movie before. In fact, Lee Gambin had an interview with Christopher Atkins in Drive-In Asylum number 4, right there, or number 6, and it was about mostly about Shakma. But of course, Christopher Atkins had a rather illustrious career, so there were other things to talk about.
Didn't he do another killer animal movie that I can't remember the name of right now?
I think a Sci-Fi Network one.
Yeah.
You're right.
Was it like a bird movie or something, or
was it? It wasn't Birdemic or
no
Birds 2.
It's not Birds 2.
Yeah.
If only I had a magical device that I could look up.
Daryl's a 28th timer.
Everything
this is
that Christopher Atkins did. I will say, while I'm vamping on Christopher Atkins, if you like Blue Lagoon, let me recommend the many Italian ripoffs of Blue Lagoon, like Adam and Eve versus the Cannibals, which are like, how's that Blue Lagoon ripoff? Totally is. It's great. Let's see. Chris Atkins, he was in The Sparrows, The Nesting.
That's what it was. I knew it was a bird movie.
He's also in a TV series called The Sparrows. Yeah, he's also in. See if he's what other horror he did. 100 Million BC.
What's in the trailer for Shakma? It says Christopher Atkins, the 2-time award winner for the Theater Owners Association. Like, they just made this award up.
Oh man,
you know.
He's the best in the planet on the world for Aladdin and the Magic Lamp from 1982, the Pirate movie from 1982, and A Night in Heaven, a movie where he plays a young stripper in high school. That's the movie I
remember that one.
And I saw that in high school.
In high school. They showed you in school?
No, a bunch of girls sleepover. We rented it.
Oh, he's also in Beaks. Beaks, the movie.
That's what it is, Beaks.
Yeah.
That's the one I was thinking of, Beaks.
But in A Night in Heaven, he wears like a Lone Ranger mask on stage, and he's strutting his stuff, and then his teacher's like, oh, that's one of my students. And of course, they have a tawdry affair. Oh, man, TV movies. It's tawdry as a TV movie at 9 o'clock on a Sunday can get.
If it's with Christopher Atkins, it's pretty tawdry.
Yeah.
I got to say.
His little washboard abs and a slightly doughy 35-year-old teacher. Oh, it's the best. You've got to corn up for that stuff now. We had the ABC Movie of the Week, and we loved it. Yeah, this LARP is pretty awesome, though. I mean, I think that's another. I haven't made a LARPing movies where LARPing gets people into trouble list yet. Mazes and Monsters, obviously, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hi, Vivi.
Vivi came on to send us off to our first feature of the night, Shakma, which is on Tubi. I dropped the link into chat a couple of times. So here, I'll do it one more time.
And I only saw one person reference Shock the Monkey for this movie. So well done, everybody.
Mm.
Oh, I saw a couple of them.
Oh, you saw a couple? Well,
I hate to burst your bubble, yeah.
Well, It's okay. It's good. They were mentioning the Peter Gabriel one, not the Ozzy with Coal Chamber one, so it's okay. The horrible Ozzy cover of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's never discuss.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
I blocked that out.
Yeah.
Everybody to be on the same page. Reportedly, Jennifer Upton will be on the second segment, so
I think I will. Cheers, guys.
True. And we'll see you back after Shakma. Enjoy. And this movie's really gory, so prepare yourself.
Yeah. Brain surgery.